Okay, so I wanted to do kind of an official showcase demo of the CodeJitsu project that I put out. It's a total of 8 episodes, and we go through an unedited, basically, code hang of me just working through how to build this whole thing. So, a little backstory is I wanted to get better at Python, and I wanted to figure out a way to have a AI tutor using VAPI for the voice AI to be able to chat back and forth and basically teach me leak code and Python problems. So here's just the simple landing page that kind of explains everything. Um, yeah, pretty much what I just explained. Some of the cool things I ended up integrating was this AI diagram generation. So you can generate visual diagrams from your code in conversation context. So basically, it takes in your conversation and whatever code is in your editor that you're working on, and it can process that and then output a SVG diagram. So pretty cool. And the tutor will have context awareness of that diagram too. So uh, you both can be looking at the same image. So yeah, so basically this is just a simple landing page that goes through everything. Um, Nothing too crazy. And then we get to the actual dashboard here. And here's where the problem will populate once we get it figured out. This tab will open up the code. You can do your pseudocode here. You can do your Python implementation here. And the chat tutor will have context awareness of both these containers. So while you're actually typing, it will be able to correct you or help you. As well, once the problem is figured out, if you need to, you can either draw yourself a diagram and the tutor will know about it. As well, you can generate the diagram based on what is in the chat context. So we'll get this going and we'll do a quick little demo. We open up the chat panel and we'll press start voice. And what's going to happen is we're going to chat with the tutor. His name's Elliot. So we're going to chat with Elliot and we're going to figure out, a Python problem that I want to do. And then he's going to ask me if we would like to do that one, which will in the back end queue um, a conditional yes or no for me to actually choose if I want to continue with that problem. This way you can kind of talk back and forth to figure out what kind of problem you want to do in the first place. So it's a little customized based on your preference at the time. So we'll get it going. Here we go.
Hello, I'm Elliot, your coding tutor.
Hi, Elliot. I want to do FizzBuzz. Can you help me with that?
Perfect. FizzBuzz is a classic problem that's great for practicing loops and conditionals. Let's work on a beginner loops problem, FizzBuzz. Here's what we need to do. Print numbers 1 to 100, but replace multiples of 3 with fizz, multiples of 5 with buzz, and the multiples of both with FizzBuzz. For example, 1, 2, fizz, 4, buzz, fizz, 7, 8, fizz, buzz, 11, fizz, 13, 14, FizzBuzz. Should I create this problem for you?
Yes, so this is what I was just saying. So it says, would you like me to create this problem for you? And now we get this yes or no um, to choose from right here. So we'll press yes, and what's going to happen is it's going to take our conversation, Anthropic's going to process it, and we'll output a problem panel here that has a bunch of um, a bunch of information we need to solve the problem. Cool, there it is, FizzBuzz. So we get the title and the problem statement, as well as we get some hints. So that's good. And then if we want to go to the code, we can write our pseudocode here, and then it populates a boilerplate of FizzBuzz for you. I would probably just clear it and then do my own. So the next thing I want to show is the diagram. And if we press generate diagram, it's now going to diagram FizzBuzz for us. And it'll output as an SVG. So yeah, here it is. And there's our FizzBuzz diagram created by Anthropic. So yeah, that's pretty much the highlight of it. Real quick, why don't we just throw the answer in there and kind of have a conversation about it real quick. Lose the return. Actually, let's try it.
Hello, I'm Elliot, your coding tutor.
Hi, Elliot. Can you look at my implementation solution and tell me how to finish it?
I can see your FizzBuzz code. You've got the logic right, but there are two issues. You're printing instead of returning, and you're not using the parameter n. You're hard-coded to 101. You need to return a list of strings and use n as your range limit. Should I help you fix these issues step by step?
Yes.
Great, let's fix this step by step. First, create an empty list to store your results. Then change your range to use n instead of 101. Instead of print, append each result to your list. Can you try making those changes? What should you return at the end of the function?
So what was the variable that we're using? Is it just total with an empty array?
Yes, create an empty list, like result, ebusts. Then, instead of printing, append each value to that list. What should you return at the very end?
So it should be else return result.
Exactly, return the result list at the end. Also remember to change your range from range 1, 101 to range 1, n plus 1, so it uses the parameter n. Try making those changes and let me know how it looks.
Oh, for I in range of n. So it's for I in range 1 to n.
Yes, exactly, for I in range 1, n plus 1, since range is exclusive of the n value. Now instead of print, use result.append for each case. Give it a try.
So right now I have else return result dot append, but what am I appending to?
No, in the else case, you should append the number I as a string. So it's result append just or psi. Then after the entire for loop ends, return result. The return should be outside the loop, not inside the else.
Okay, I'm confused. So what's the very last line? We got return and then what?
The very last line is just return result. That's it, no dot append. The return statement goes after the for loop ends at the same indentation level as the for loop. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so look at my code now and tell me if it's correct.
I can see your FizzBuzz function looks good. The logic and structure are correct. You're using the parameter n, appending to the result list, and returning it at the end. Want to test it with a few values to make sure it works as expected?
Well, I don't think I'm not using an append method at all.
You're right. Looking at your code, you're still using print statements instead of appending to a list. You need to, 1, create an empty list. Result equals 2, change all your print statements to result. Append. 3, keep the return result at the end. Can you make those changes?
Yeah, 1 second.
Perfect. Take your time. Let me know when you've made those changes and I'll help you test it.
So it's just going to be result.append.
Yes, exactly. Replace every print with result. Append. So print FizzBuzz becomes a result.
Yeah, so
Append.
it's result dot append, and then for the input, FizzBuzz.
Exactly. And for the other cases, result append fizz, result append buzz, and result append asterisk for the number. Don't forget to convert I to a string with stri.
Okay, so I changed the print statements out. What do I do next?
Great. Now you need to create an empty list at the beginning of your function.
I already did
Add.
that. It's called result. And then at the end, the very last else after the if and two elifs is else return result.
Perfect. You got it right. The function should work now. Do you want to test it with a small value like FizzBuzz5 to see if it returns the correct list?
I know this is correct. Thank you. So yeah, that was a pretty good demonstration of, trying to learn how to use the correct syntax. If you wanted to actually test this, I would just go into VS Code or a terminal and actually run it yourself. So yeah, I think that's pretty much the culmination of the project. Just to kind of review, basically, we have a problem view here that we created with the chat. Once we get there, we can pseudocode and then do our implementation. As well, we can diagram. We can do this more than once too, so I think it'll give us a different kind of diagram. Yeah, cool. So now we got a different diagram, so maybe the first one didn't work for you and you want to see something a little bit different or another interpretation. And to me, that's the coolest thing. The thing I was most curious about and the thing I'm most impressed about, and one thing I want to figure out is how to do more AI generated SVG diagrams, probably for, more specific business use cases would be fun. So yeah, thank you for watching, and this is CodeJitsu, and if you want it, this is going to be a public repo, so you can fork and clone it to your heart's desire. And I put out as many videos as I can. I code every day, so basically all I do is turn on OBS and then release it that day. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.